Why do you think Bobby Orr was the greatest player ever?
Well, I've had that analyzed a lot of different times. And you know, you look at Wayne Gretzky, got 92 goals and 200 points. He also did it in a very watered-down league with goaltenders, about 3 or 4 of them were good. And Bobby played in the 16 league where everybody was good. And then he learned how to be a leader without talking about it, without screaming at anybody, more by example than anything else. But he really did make us all better. Now, they say Mario Lemieux did it, Wayne Gretzky did it, and all their teammates love them. One guy asked me one time, if you had to start a franchise, what would you do? Have 20 Bobby Orrs, 20 Gretzkys, or 20 Lemieux? And I'll win more cups with 20 Orrs. And if you got 20 Bobby Orrs, that heart and courage and play with pain, and he played in odd man situations, never was a... I can't remember anyone ever taking the puck off of him, and I don't think he was ever healthy. I always had a bad knee. He played with broken fingers, but he always played. Tremendous amount of courage and an ability to handle pain. And that I admired and respected in him. I don't know what the other ones do. I don't know them. But I don't know if they were good, but I don't know.
You played through a lot of pain yourself, returning to the game with many injuries. Knowing what we know today about concussions and the dangers, the long-term effects of them, would you have played the same way if you knew this then?
Yeah. I would have played the same way because I never wore a helmet. And no one has ever figured that out. I listened to Versus Television, and I'm listening to the mediator and the commentator and 6 hockey players. And I'm sitting there listening to them on Versus, and they're all trying to figure out helmets. Why the concussions? And it hit me. Because you don't know how to play. You've only learned to play with helmets on. And your mother told you when you were 5 you were protected. And you are not protected. And then the cage came in after that original season of mandating helmets, and a kid can't see. You lose your peripheral vision. You can't pick up people in movement and sense of movement. And then you get hit. And when I talked to other players, Stan Mikita said it too, that Rydell football helmet said, it really can't be done. The game is played at too fast a speed to negate centripetal force, which is your brain floats in fluid. Mm-hmm. When the head stops fast, the brain keeps going. And it hits the skull and bounces back, and that's what causes the concussion. So helmets can't prevent that. As a matter of fact, helmets prematurely hit glass, ice, and posts, and they prematurely. And most of the concussions are not head-to-head. Most of them are like stem injuries and stopping quickly and stopping the body, and you snap your head. And those are really a shock to your brain. And what we did is we hit shoulders, hit down, and body hits, and kept the sticks down. We were told keep it down the ice. You can't score up here. You got to keep it there. And that's where you went with it. And that was the way we kind of just dealt with it and went through all of it that way. And I don't know why people think helmets are good. They're not. They're really, really very dangerous.
So do you contend that there were fewer concussions back then? Because I know Jack Parker said this before, the BU hockey coach, that...
Yeah. He's one of my believers. I talked to Jackie a long time ago about...
that people aren't going to be as rough when you're left unprotected. You believe that, or do you think they were just not diagnosed as much? I would give him credit there. I don't think it's being as rough, because we were certainly dirty and tough and fought and did all that. And some guys could pure hit. But we didn't headhunt. We didn't leverage hit. We didn't hit you up high in the neck and send you straight back into the boards or crush you into the boards with your head down. We didn't do that. Well, why not? Because I'm just as susceptible as you are. So, and we used to play each other a lot. And you know, when you play somebody 8 times, 14, the old 16 league used to play 16 times. And if a guy got you in game 1, you could get him back in the next 16, 17 games. So there was a get even thing. All right, we'll get your number, we'll wait. All right, nobody gets crazy. And everybody got even. So, but we got even with aggressive behavior, tough, but we weren't dirty. We didn't try to hurt anybody. And kids hit too high now. And elbow pads and the equipment is so hard. And you get an elbow in the head,
And I remember Kyle McLaren took a Montreal player out of the game. And a guy, I don't know if it was Surrey or Sauvé, but a great move on him. And he beat him inside. And Kyle committed outside. And once you commit your feet, you've had it. You're gone. So he stuck his arm out. And the kid ran into his elbow. And the elbow pad's like this table. And we had a little cap on the elbow. And it was all sponge over the top. Doing hurt you. And we had a little cap on the shoulder. They got these Darth Vader pads and pants and equipment. And, oh, my God. You ever seen a 5-year-old go on the ice? And once they're all dressed, they got the cages, and they're looking at each other, and they hit each other over the head with a stick. First thing a 5-year-old does. And that sends a mental message that you're protected, you're invincible. You're not. It is a very dangerous game, and it should be played without helmets. And it should be played with respect for your opponent, because that opponent can also get you back. So there's a lot to it. And I think courage is a big part of playing the game. And when you feel invincible, as anyone does at 21, 22, you tend to think you can get away with things. And some guys are really good hitters. I think Cam Neely's the best hitter I ever saw. Maybe Leo Boyven and Fernie Flaman in the days of old, but Neely could hit. And he always wore a helmet, but he never hit high. He never hit you dirty. He hit you hard, but he never hit you dirty. So that respect, when I talked to Randy Carlisle, him and Craig McTavish were the last two guys that play without a helmet. And I used to do the broadcast. And I used to watch when they went in the corner, the guys with the helmets and the visors got their stick down and respected them. And they dug the puck out and went on about their business. And they knew it, and they went in, and then they took the player out the same way, down low, took the body, and didn't know cheap shots. So I said, well, why can't you play like that all the time? Guys played with them, and Red Berenson always had a helmet, Stan Mikita, great players. But nobody ran them, because those two players didn't run you. But that doesn't happen anymore.
This excerpt is brought to you by the Massachusetts School of Law, the leader of reform in legal education and a leader in multimedia education for the public. To view the full interview and for a full listing of MSL's programs, log on to mslaw.edu.